All right, y'all. So I'm well in process working on this fiber optic star sky removable panel for the Fisker Ocean. Let's take a look. So this is the primary optic unit that plugs into the projector, which is this big boy here. The plan is to mount the projector on the center beam, center seat, so it would feed at the back of the solar panel up and feed all of these fiber optic wires. So most of you saw that I created this suede liner on the back of my solar shield. And this is that heat shield that goes on top of the solar panel. Got these extra strength hook and pile latches for the Velcro side of it to keep it up. It does come with suction cups, but I preferred this for a much closer, long-lasting fit. Anyway, so I got this kit out and I fanned out the fibers, and what this requires you to do, depending on the amount of fibers included in your kit, is how many holes you have to drill throughout the top of the panel. And you want to feed them as you go. And yes, that looks kind of ugly, right? With all these holes. But you can actually brush this over with a suede brush in the end, and it will actually get rid of some of those ugly holes. That is, if you don't fill up each of these. So after you've fit each of these tiny little holes in the star pattern that you want, you're going to have to hot glue each and every one. But you want to make sure that you have mounted the unit feed right where you want. So mine is going to be right here in the back, and then I'm going to put some Gorilla tape right there to keep it secure. So the next part of this, I'll be basically done feeding all these. It will take some time and tediousness making sure the right fibers go. The only way to know is you just want to try and prevent as many fibers from crossing over one another as possible. You want to keep this nice and flat. That's the best way I can recommend it. One really cool part when you start getting towards the end and you have some spare is start creating star clusters like their own little galaxies. If you're wondering what it looks like on the other side, this is it. It'll all be filled in here shortly. Alright guys, now comes the very tedious part of hot gluing each and every one of these in And ideally you want to pull them tight before you hot glue it. So this is where it takes a little time and patience. And then when you're done, you can use some of this Gorilla Tape like I did to help seal the tops of the lines so that they're not bouncing. It's come along. It's come along. Alright guys, so now I'm on the step of hot gluing each and every one of these one by one, so that way I get a nice fixed position. As you can see, it's coming out pretty nice, at least in my opinion. So let's get to it. Now guys, this skill level is considered very novice or easy. It's just time consuming doing each and every one of these. So I'm not pulling them too tight, but I am pulling them so that way they're not just loose like the rest of these. But one glue stick has gone quite the distance here so far. So if you're considering doing this, just set aside a few hours. It's not too hard. One other fair warning, don't touch the metal tip of the glue gun to any of the fibers. You want to drop the glue just above it. Otherwise it will melt the fiber. Alright, once you've tediously hot glued every single fiber, I added some Gorilla Tape around the Velcro just so that way nothing crosses the Velcro. But you can double check if you've missed any fibers, and you'll know because they will be popping up kind of like this one and this one. So you want to make sure to double back and cover down all the fibers. Once you've ensured that the other side is glued, now it's time to go and clip your fibers down to the surface. Some people like to use fingernail clippers. It's just important that you get as straight as possible. So in this case, what I'm going to be using are these wire snips.